So today's session is on subject Shalya Tantra. I wholeheartedly welcome each and everyone present here. Before introducing our today's guest speaker, I would like to give certain instructions which has to be followed throughout the session. Participants, kindly mute your audio throughout the session, and whatever doubts you're having, kindly leave them in the chat section. They will be cleared as soon as the session is over. So let me introduce today's chief guest, that is Dr. Aditya JV. Dr. Aditya JV has completed his BMS from Government Ayurveda Medical College, Mysuru, and has completed his MS from JSS Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Mysuru. He is also having additional qualifications like BSc in IT, Information Technology, and also he has done postgraduate diploma in Health Service Management from KSOU, Mysore. He has also done postgraduate diploma in Computer Applications from CDAS AC, Pune. He has also published various articles in international journals. He has presented various seminars, various webinars, and also he has participated in various research projects. And presently he is working as an assistant professor in JSS Ayurveda Medical College and Hospital, Mysuru. We wholeheartedly welcome you, Dr. Aditya JV, and we are very glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much, madam. Om Shri Dhanvantariya Namaha. Pranams to His Holiness Shri Jagadguru Shri Shivaratri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji. Pranams to my parents and my mentor and guru, Dr. Siddhesh Aradhyamat. And first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Akshata madam for giving me a chance to share this platform for orienting the final year students in the subject Shalya Tantra. So today, since the time is short, I would like to cover the basic topics which has to be focused more, which has to be given more importance, and how you have to study for long essay question, short essay question, how you can plan for the studying of your syllabus. That we'll discuss. According to the syllabus, I have framed the PPTs, so we'll go one by one. Hope the screen is visible now. So today the topics which will be covered is how you had to prepare a self-study timetable for your final exams. So since this is final exams, this is not like your first year exam and second year exams. You have to have a proper schedule, and before studying your final year syllabus, final year topics, you need to know about the basic syllabus which is given stipulated as according to the RGHS University for your final year. So knowing the syllabus is very important, and allocation of time for each syllabus point, that I will tell one by one as we proceed ahead. And knowing marks allocation for important topics. This is one of the most important thing, because few topics which are not important, we can waste so much of time on that topic, which will be covered only for 3 marks or 5 marks. So that I will tell which has to be focused, which has to be stressed more. And after you study, most important thing is when you appear in your examination hall, how you are going to write the answers. So how you are going to structure your answer in Shalya. I'll be talking only regarding Shalya. So here the exact presentation format will be entirely different from other subjects like KC or other things. And I have compiled some previous year question papers, so we can discuss which syllabus topic has been asked again and again. So that will cover. So coming to how you are going to prepare your self-study timetable. So this is very important from the examination point of view. I advocate my students to study 2 subjects per day. Very importantly, few people will study like you are going to read 2 or 3 days one subject or one paper. And this way, when you're studying after 15 or 20 days, when you have finished all the subjects, when you go back to the first subject which you have covered, you'll have forgot those many important points. So that should not be occurring. So I advocate you people to have a proper allocation of, you can study about each subject 6 hours per day, and most importantly revision of this topics which you have studied the previous day. That is very important. Okay, so whatever you studied the previous day, as soon as you start your day fresh. So try to revise those topics at least for 2 hours. Dedicate 2 hours for your revision time. Okay, then each subject, as I told, you can allocate about 6 hours each. So at least 12 to 14 hours of preparation is must for final year, because the syllabus is very vast. You have known got to know by now. Okay, and try to make notes for each important points in separate notes for each subject. So for each subject, you keep a small diary or something like that. You can make notes whichever you feel important. So these short notes, what you're going to do, that you can keep it as a flash reminder just for revision during just before the exam day. And I always advise you people to keep a separate shloka book for paper 1. Okay, so in paper 1 you have a very important shlokas that has to be covered. So keep a shloka book for each subject, and for Shalya, especially for paper 1, that is very important, I will tell. And most importantly, don't compromise your sleep. That is very important. Okay, keep yourself hydrated and eat very nutritious food, exercise, and perform yoga pranayama for at least 10 minutes, so you will have a fresh mind to study whatever topics you want to study. And I also advise you to take preparations like Sarastarishta or Shankapushpi brain tonics. Definitely this works. You can try. So at least you have another 18 to 19 days for your exams, upcoming exams. So till then you can take at least 10 ml of Sarastarishta with gold. That will be very helpful for your boosting your memory. So coming to syllabus directly, so please be attentive since we are short in time. I will try to cover important points, so make note of them. Whatever doubt you are having, you can drop a message or you can ask after the session is over. Okay, syllabus I have just kept it here. I have prepared the slides according to syllabus only. So coming to paper 1. In paper 1, you have 2 parts, that is part A and part B. So in part A, we cover most of the basic aspects of the Samhita. So about first 12 to 13 chapters are being covered in the part A. So coming to first point, that is definition of Shalya Tantra and its importance. And first point in the syllabus, it usually minimum every year 5 marks to 10 marks has been repeatedly being asked. Okay, so like the definition of Shalya Tantra, the history, contemporaries of Sushruta Samhita, the cause for decline of Shalya Tantra. These questions are being asked again and again. So the definition of Shalya, that is shloka, that has to be remembered. Don't forget. Yeah.
There's a disturbance. Your voice is breaking, sir.
Okay, just a second. Madam, is it audible now?
Still breaking, sir. Still your voice is breaking.
I'll just change the internet connection. Just a minute.
Yeah, please.
Madam, is it audible now?
Yes, sir. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So coming to the first point of syllabus point, that is Shalya Tantra. So this point is very important. So it is the one of the most basic criteria what an examiner is going to frame the question upon. So the definition of Shalya shloka has to be better, and Shalya Tantra shloka. That shloka is very important. And introduction to Shalya, you can always try to go with Rajneesh Giri book. There are the points are very easily given. So those things you can read. And coming to Yantras and Shastras. So Yantras and Shastras is very important from the examination point of view. So in Yantras, usually the major question, that is longest question, will be from either Yantras or Shastras or from the first point, that is Shalya and its history. Those questions definitely you can expect in your exam. So in Yantras, you had to buy at all the shlokas, the classification of Yantras and the classification of Shastras, the Yantra Dosha, Yantra Guna, Shastra Dosha, Shastra Guna, and Upayantras. So these questions are 100% questions you can definitely expect. So try to cover the 2 chapters, and I advocate you to go through Samhita. So that is 7th chapter and 8th chapter. If you study in the Sushruta Samhita Sutrasthana, you will have better idea about identifying and how you can interpret the instruments according to modern science. And coming to relevant modern instruments, you can refer Manipal Manual of Surgery. The basic question, like I will share in the question paper. So Anushastras and Upayantras has been asked repeatedly since last 2 years. So what is Anushastra and what is Upayantra? The classification coming under Anushastra and Upayantra, that is 25 types which is told in Upayantra, that you can stress upon. Okay, this will be appearing for 5 marks. Okay, and coming to next syllabus point, that is Nirjantukarana and sterilization. So usually this question will not be for long essay question, it will be for short essay question. So you can prepare short notes, that is types of sterilization, chemical sterilization, autoclaving, these things will be asked. Okay, so you did not prepare for 10 marks, usually it will be for only 3 marks or 5 marks. 1 second. Once again, there is some technical glitch. Sorry for the interruption. So next point is Sangyaharana or anesthesia. So in anesthesia, the major question again, anesthesia can be a long essay question. So here usually the commonly question asked is regional anesthesia. So that is usually we ask spinal anesthesia or epidural anesthesia, or the general anesthesia can be given for 5 marks, wherein they will be asking regarding the stages coming under general anesthesia. Okay, this is important. And the other common question which you can expect from this topic is the types of anesthesia, the common drugs used, and the complications of anesthesia. So this also can be a question in your examination. So anesthesia usually will be covered for 3 marks or 5 marks or 10 marks, but one question from this topic will definitely be there. So majorly concentrate upon regional anesthesia, wherein they will be asking epidural or spinal anesthesia. So the last about in 2018 they had asked regarding epidural anesthesia, and in 2019 they had mentioned regarding the peripheral nerve block, which comes again under regional anesthesia. So the topics mainly to be focused is the types of anesthesia, and in general anesthesia you have to focus more on the stages, that is 4 stages. Those things, what are all the changes occurring in each stage, that you have to present it step by step. Okay, next you have after anesthesia. There is some problem in slide, this one I'll present like that only. Just a second. Is the screen visible, madam? There is some problem with slide sort of view, presenter view.
No worries, sir. It's okay. You
So I'll
can carry
present
on.
like this, and I'm very sorry for the interruption.
No
So
worries.
coming to next topic, this is Trivida Karma. So Trivida Karma is mainly told in the 5th chapter of Sushruta Samhita, that is Agropaharaniya Adhyaya. So before reading in any of the textbooks stipulated, if you are referring like Rajneesh Giri or Jalaluddin, try to read the 5th chapter of Sushruta Samhita Sutrasthana, wherein all the Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma and Paschat Karma has been given individually, and in Pradhana Karma mainly the types of incision, the qualities of the incision is given. So you can expect the qualities of incision and the qualities of surgeon. So that is Eto Eto Gatim Vidya, that the shloka wherein the counter incision shloka has been told, and even the qualities of a surgeon that has been mentioned in 5th chapter. And the types of incision is commonly asked for 3 marks, so you can make a note of it. This reference is given in 5th chapter again. So Sushruta has told Tiryak Cheda and Ardha Chandrakara and Chandrakara. So these types of incision has been told in Trivida Karma. Okay, and next again this question can be 100% expected. Usually they will ask the Purva, Pradhana Karma and Paschat Karma for long essay question. And then you have most important topic, that is Ashtavida Shastra Karma. So here all the shlokas has to be by heart, starting from Chedana till Visravana. All the shlokas are very important. Usually the major question can be explain or enumerate Ashtavida Shastra Karma, and they will ask usually Chedana or Bedana to elaborate. Okay, or they can ask 3 marks question like give the indication for Chedya Vadi, give the indication for Bedya Vadi, or they can ask like Sivya Vadis, indication for Sivana Karma. Those things can be asked. So Ashtavida Shastra Karma is again an important topic which you have to go through repeatedly, because shlokas are very important. And again, this is, you can definitely think like these are the 100% expected questions, so don't skip these topics. Next you have Yoga Vidhi Adhyaya. So usually this will be asked for 5 marks. So experimental surgery, wherein Sushruta advocates the practice of surgery on surgical dummies. So how you are going to relate with the present day scenario, wherein before a surgeon is given to operate on live patients, usually they are given to train on surgical dummies. So this concept was told by Sushruta in the 9th chapter, that is Yoga Vidhi Adhyaya. So again, this is important. Usually it can be asked for 5 marks. Then a very rarely touched topic, that is Marma. Usually we don't give more importance, and usually it can be a long essay question. So they can ask Marma, Nirukti, the types of Marmas, that is Sadhyo Pranahara, Kalantara Pranahara, etc. And they can ask individual Marmas like Stapani Marma, where it is located, for 3 marks. So Marma don't neglect. You can keep at least 2 to 3 hours for studying the Marma topic. Okay, then 100% questions in again part A is Kshara, Agni and Jaloka. So I have put double star mark here. So the Nirukti and Kshara Guna, Kshara Dosha and Kshara Karma, the shlokas for these 3 topics has to be by hearted. Okay, and usually they will ask Kshara Sutra Nirmana Vidhi, and what are the advancement in Kshara Sutra preparations, that is we are using multiple be mentioned. And for 3 marks you can expect questions like Kshara Dosha, Kshara Karma, indication for Kshara Karma, contraindication for Kshara Karma, and they can ask Kshara Varti, Kshara Taila and Kshara Pichu. Okay, these definitions are given in Jalaluddin. So if you don't get reference of Kshara Varti, Kshara Taila and Kshara Pichu, you can refer the Kshara Karma Adhyaya in Jalaluddin. Okay, and next topic, which is commonly again a very important question, is Agni Karma. So Agni Karma, again the derivation of the term Agni Karma, this has to be mentioned, and the indications for Agni Karma and types of Agni Karma is commonly used. And a very important question which is repeatedly being asked is Dahana Upakaranas. Does anybody know what is Dahana Upakaranas? You can answer. So this is one of the common questions which is being repeated again and again. Dahana Upakaranas. Okay, that is nothing but the instruments which we are going to use for performing the Agni Karma. That is, we use Pippali, Aja, Shakrut, Godanta, Sharashalaka. That shloka, if you mention, that will give you full marks. And Agni Karma Yogya and Ayogya. This is again very important. And Dhumopata Lakshana in Agni Karma, it can be asked for 5 marks. Okay, again, this can be a long essay question for 10 marks, wherein the whole chapter can be asked in general. Next is Rakta Mokshana, wherein Jaloka, here the Jaloka Ucharana can be asked as a whole procedure. So when the Jaloka Ucharana Vidhi is expected, the question is expected, you have to mention about the pre-operative, operative and post-operative procedures for Jaloka Ucharana. So here you have to divide your answer, that is Purva Karma for Jaloka, Purva Karma for the patient. So this categorization is expected by the examiner whenever they ask the Jaloka Ucharana for 10 marks. So here you have to mention the importance of Jaloka, the types of Jaloka, that is Savisha Jaloka, Nirvisha Jaloka, then indication of Jaloka Ucharana, and you have to mention the procedure. Every procedure for Jaloka Ucharana is divided into 2 aspects, that is the preoperative procedure for Jaloka, that is activation of leech, etc. And for the patient, so the preoperative procedure for the patient, wherein you are going to perform the BT, CT and HIV, HbSAg, those blood parameters are being done. Then coming to Bandha Vidhi, you can expect 3 marks question or 5 marks question. In Bandha, individual Bandhas can be asked for 3 marks question. Like Kosha, just for 3 marks they may ask what is Kosha Bandha. So they will not ask Kosha Bandha, they will just give the question as Kosha. So this will be a confusing thing. So if you know all the 14 types of Bandha, you have to buy it. So this will be helpful. And in Bandha Vidhi, there is mention regarding Pichu and Plotha. Again, this has been asked previous years. So just for 3 marks, they have been asked Pichu and Plotha. Okay, this is nothing but the gauze which we use for dressing. Next, after Agni Karma and Rakta Mokshana, major question which you can expect in part A is Bandha Vidhi. That is for usually not long essay question. It will be for short essay question. Next is Sandhana Karma. So here usually the principles of plastic surgery told by Acharya Sushruta in the 15th chapter. So that is Karana Veda Bandhana Adhyaya. This you have to study in Samhita itself. So what are the principles of the skin flaps and skin graft? These basic principles can be understood by reading this chapter. Okay, usually this will be asked for 3 marks or 5 marks. So they will ask like rhinoplasty, the principles of rhinoplasty or the Indian method of rhinoplasty. So when they ask this question, you have to mention regarding the classical reference told by Acharya Sushruta. Next, Pranashta Shalya. Again, this is most important topic. So usually they will ask the major question for 10 marks, that is Pranashta Shalya Vidhi Adhyaya. Please enumerate or explain Pranashta Shalya Vidhi Adhyaya. Or they may ask for 5 marks like Shalya Nirharana Upayas. Or for 3 marks, the common question which is asked is Shalya Gati. So we have 5 types of Shalya Gati that you can cover. Okay, these are all the topics which are Ayurvedic aspects. So next, after this, you have modern aspect, that is fluid, electrolyte, acid-base balance, and nutrition. Okay, here usually the common question asked is respiratory acidosis or metabolic acidosis, respiratory alkalosis, and metabolic alkalosis. So that is its symptoms and management. And usually there is one common question like total parenteral nutrition, which is commonly asked as Amruta Suchi Baranadi Chikitsa. Okay, I am just typing it. Chikitsa. So this will be asked for 3 marks usually. So when you see this term, this is nothing but TPN, what we call it as total parenteral nutrition. Again, this reference is available in Jalaluddin. You can go through the entire procedure, how you are going to do, that is explained. Okay, these are the common questions which you can expect from fluid, electrolyte, acid base. So usually it is just for 3 marks, not a major question. And finally, one of the most important and commonly repeated question is Rakta Stambhana Upayas. Okay, this will be asked again and again. And you can also expect 5 marks question, that is types of hemorrhage or classification of hemorrhage, that is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, that you have to study. And blood transfusion has not been asked repeatedly, but just try to understand the principles of blood transfusion, that is blood grouping, compatibility, and indication. And we have to mainly know about the complications of blood transfusion. And next topic, again modern topic, that is antibiotics, analgesics, anti-inflammatory, and emergency drugs. So usually they will ask one antibiotic, like you can expect question like explain any 3 cephalosporins, or explain or mention any 3 macrolides. So in the antibiotics, you have various categorization that you have to study. And in emergency drugs, they may ask mention any 3 emergency drugs. So commonly you can always write 3 emergency drugs, that is atropine, adrenaline, and you can write any steroid like hydrocortisone. Okay, these 3 you can prepare yourself with the drug dosage. You have to mention the indication of the drug and the dosage of the drug and which route you are going to administer. This is what is expected in emergency drugs when the question is asked. So emergency drugs usually, the list of emergency drugs you can refer in Jalaluddin, or you can refer any modern pharmacology books. Okay. So next, last question, usually again neglected syllabus points by students. So that is diagnostic techniques. Here, usually the principles of diagnostic techniques like X-ray, ultrasonography, that is USG, CT scan, MRI, and biopsy. Usually they will ask FNAC. And the FNAC is nothing but fine needle aspiration cytology. Okay, so this again appears for 3 marks or 5 marks. Usually for 5 marks, they'll be asking about the relevance of radiological investigation in certain surgical diseases, or just for 3 marks they may ask principles of X-ray, or you can expect a question like principles of CT scan, like that. Okay, this is regarding the part A. So till here you have, I think I have stressed on most important topics which you have to study, and based on the marks allocation what I have mentioned, try to study and make a notes only for that allocation of marks. Don't try to read for 10 marks like how you're reading for 10 marks. Try to highlight only the important points which are required for presenting in your answer sheet. Okay. Next, coming all the aspects of Vruna, starting from Vruna Shota till the Sadhya Vruna and Aguntaja Vruna. So these topics are very important. And the first topic which has been mentioned is Shat Kriya Kala. Okay, Shat Kriya Kala in surgical practice. So here it is an interpretive type of question wherein you have to analyze certain disease like appendicitis or hemorrhoids in Shat Kriya Kala, that is starting from Chaya, Prakopa, Prashama till Beda Avastha, and you have to implicate your understanding for that surgical disease, for example appendicitis, based on symptom wise. Okay, this is usually asked for 5 marks. You can take up any disease and try to correlate the symptoms with the Shat Kriya Kala. Next we have that is major questions which is commonly asked is for long essay question we have Vruna Shota. Okay, that is nothing but inflammation. In Vruna Shota, the shlokas for Amavastha, Pachyamanavastha and Pakvavastha. All these important 3 important headings with their shlokas has to be bahated. Make sure that you bahat all the shlokas for Vruna Shota, and usually they will ask that for Vruna Shota, that is Saptopakrama. This is again very common question. Never try to skip this shloka for Saptopakrama, that is which starts from Ado Vimlapanam Kuryat Dvitiyam Avaseshanam. That shloka you have to bat. Next, Vidruddhi, the definition of Vidruddhi and the types of Vidruddhi. This can be asked for 5 marks. And abscess as such, the modern question itself can be asked. In abscess, they will usually ask what is the define abscess, types of abscess, and mention the treatment for abscess. Usually you have to mention regarding the operative procedure when they ask about the treatment. Don't write antibiotics and analgesics. So this will not fetch you marks. This is a paper of surgery. So whenever you get any surgical case, disease, try to at least mention about line of treatment, surgical line of treatment. So under line of treatment, you can divide your answer into conservative line of treatment and surgical line of treatment. So under surgical line of treatment, at least mention the name of the surgery. So for example, for abscess, the name of the procedure is IND. So this term is expected from students. Okay, so don't forget the name of surgery for certain diseases. Okay, this is very important. Okay, make a note of it. And next, coming to another important question, that is Pidaka. Usually 3 marks they will ask. And coming to next point, that is Nadi Vruna. The shloka for Nadi Vruna is important. Next, the differences between keloid and hypertrophic scar. This can be asked for 5 marks. Okay, so when they ask individually, it will be for 3 marks. When they ask about differences between keloid and hypertrophic scar, it will be for 5 marks. Then you have shock. So define shock and explain the types of shock. This is a common question. So you can read in Manipal. It is very easy for understanding. Next, you have gangrene and principles of amputation. So many people don't know the terminology for gangrene. Usually, kota is the coin terminology. So whenever you hear the term in your question paper that is kota, don't confuse yourself. So it is nothing but gangrene. So when they ask about gangrene, you have to mention about the types of gangrene, that is dry gangrene and wet gangrene. And whenever there is gangrene, the surgery done is amputation. Okay, so this you have to mention. Usually it will be given for 5 marks. Then Granthi and cyst, usually it is just for 3 marks. And Arbuda, so in Arbuda, you can expect a question that is TNM classification that you can expect, or just definition of Arbuda according to classics. So as I told, Vruna, this is the most important topic in part B. It covers about 15 to 20 marks minimum. Okay, so you can, you have to buy at all the shlokas, that is Vruna Nirukti. This is very important. Types of Vruna you have to buy at. And coming to major shlokas which you have to buy it, I'll highlight here, that is Dushta Vruna shloka is important, Shuddha Vruna, Ruhyamana Vruna, Samyak Ruda Vruna, and Nadi Vruna. All the 5 Vruna shlokas has to be by hearted. 100% it is going to come in exams. And Vruna Nirukti, that is Vruna Gatra Vichurunne, that shloka have to by heart. And when it comes to Vruna Pariksha, you have to by heart the shloka, that is Shatmullo Ashtaparigraho Panchalakshana Lakshitaha. So that shloka you have to by heart. And Vruna Pariksha as such itself, it can be asked for 5 marks. Okay, again, this is the long essay question. So all the aspects of Vruna can be asked in the long essay question. The example for question will be enumerate Vruna, Vruna Nirukti, and enumerate Vruna Pariksha. So this will be given for 5 marks. This is how the question will come from Vruna. And coming to next point, that is Patya Patya in Vruna. So it is given for 5 marks. And Shashti Upakrama, again, it is a long essay question. You can expect it to be clubbed along with the Vruna Nirukti question. And they will ask the first 11 Shashti Upakrama to be explained, or first 30 Shashti Upakramas to be explained, like that. That you have to mention. And Vrunita Kara can be asked for 3 marks. And Raksha Karma. This is again a very important question. Raksha Karma, or concept of sterilization in Ayurveda. So they can ask. So when they ask that question, you have to mention regarding the Raksha Karma told by Sushruta. Okay, then you have Sadhya Vruna, or coming under Agantuja Vruna, it can be asked for 5 marks or 10 marks. Okay, under that management of bites and stings are there, but it has not been asked till date. And coming to next topic, that is Dagda Vruna. So in Dagda Vruna, usually rule of 9 can be asked. And 2 years back, they had asked regarding Curling's ulcer. Curling's ulcer is usually a complication of 4th degree burns, where there is more than 40% of burns in your body. There will be Curling's ulcer occurring in your stomach. Okay, so this when we discuss the question paper, we can get to know. And small 3 marks question which you can expect from Kshudra Rogas is Chippa, Kadara, okay, and corn. So these 2 are again repeatedly asked. So these 2 points don't forget. So for Kadara and Chippa, both we have to Bahad the shloka. And coming to last topic, that is Manya Vikara. In Manya Vikara, commonly asked question is Apachi or Galaganda, that is goiter. Okay. Again, the shlokas for Apachi and Galaganda has to be by hearted. So usually just try to write the definition of Galaganda, then write the definition of goiter, types of goiter, and the treatment for goiter. So when I mention about the treatment, you have to mention about the thyroidectomy, that is the surgery procedure. Okay. So this is about the paper 1, part B. Okay. So just as per the syllabus I am going through, when we discuss the question paper, you'll have a better understanding. So before going to paper 2 part A, we'll just go through certain question papers wherein you can understand what are all the commonly asked questions. Okay, so we'll go with 2017 question paper. Hope the question paper is visible. So this is 2017 March question paper. Here you can see the first long essay question is define, enumerate, and classify yantras with relevant modern explanation. Write the guna, dosha, and karma of yantra. So all the aspects of yantra, that chapter if you study, you can easily clear this question. Then coming into short essays, you have Jalokavacharana, the method of Jalokavacharana. So when they ask method, you have, as I told, you have to mention Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, and Paschat Karma. So, and under Purva Karma, you have to split your answer for Purva Karma for Jaloka, Purva Karma for Rogi, and Pradhana Karma for Pradhana karma is only for the patient, and Paschat karma again it is divided into Paschat karma for the Jaloka, Paschat karma for the patient. Like that you have to mention. And next question is Saptopakrama. See, this question is very important. This comes under Vruna again, and explain Purva karma. It comes under Trivida karma. General principles of bandaging, it is coming under Bandha. Next, contemporaries of Sushruta, the first point of syllabus, that is definition of Shalya, etc. that has been appeared. And types of Rakta Mokshana, you have to mention regarding the Shastrakrita and Ashastrakrita. Under that, you can elaborate the types. Then you have indication for Agni Karma and Agni Karma Yogya. Then you have Shalyagati, as I told, that is 5 types of Shalyagati. And last point they have asked is Rakta Stambhana Upaya, that is hemostatic measures. So when you get hemostatic measures, try to mention about the modern principles. So if the question is like Rakta Mokshana Upaya according to Ayurveda, then you can mention the Ayurvedic aspect. Okay. Next, coming to part B. So define gangrene, types, clinical feature of ischemic limb, and write in detail about the management of ischemic limb. So this is very important. As I told, gangrene is a very major question. Next, in short essay, we have goiter. Just now we discussed goiter and apache. See, you have got 10 marks from that single syllabus point. So don't skip that syllabus point. Usually they will skip the Galaganda, apache, Pashana Gardhaba, etc. But 100% one question will be there from that syllabus point. Next, stages of wound healing. Again, Vruna, Patya and Vruna, and define Vidridi, types of Abhyantara Vidridi. So this is important. So all the 11 sites of Abhyantara Vidridi you had to mention. Okay, next features of Chinna Vruna coming under Agantaja Vruna, features of Alasa and its treatment, write the differences between hypertrophy scar and keloid, Vruna Parigraha, and mention the stages of Kriya Kala. So this is 2017 question paper. So you can just see how the topics has been covered. So again, for long essay question here, they have asked regarding anesthesia, and again see they have asked about the general anesthesia. Next, in short essays, you have define Shalya and Shalya Tantra. So as I told, the shloka for Shalya and Shalya Tantra is a must, don't forget. Next, in Yantras, they have asked only Swastika Yantra, its Swarupa and Karma. Yoga Vidhi Adhyaya, as I told, it is coming for 5 marks. Then Kshara Nirmana, Agni Karma Mahatva, Prakara, Upakarana used in Agni Karma. Like this. Okay, so 3 marks question. So sterilization methods and Sivana Dravyas, Rakta Mokshana Prakaras, Abandhya Rogas. Excuse me. Okay, so Abandhya Rogas, it is has been detailed in Jalaluddin bandaging chapter. You can go through. So Vishajishta Vruna, Dagda Vruna, those things has been told where you should not do bandaging. This is again expected question. So last in part B, you have Vruna Shofa as a major question. As I told, they have asked about Ama, Pachyamana and Pakvavastha of the Vruna Shofa and its management. In management, you have to mention about Saptopakrama. Okay. So Vruna Nirukti, types of gangrene, Agroparani Adhyaya importance of X-ray and Shalya Tantra, Patya in Vruna, Vruna Granthi, Nadi Vruna definition, Shastra Kosha. So Shastra Kosha, Shastra Payana, and Shastra Dara. These 3 questions are interchanged every year and asked again and again. Shastra Kosha is use Shalmali Falaka, Shastra Dara is sharpening of the instrument, and Shastra Payana is sterilization or tempering of the instruments. Okay, next is Payana Vidhi, Asivya Vadi, Vrana Vastu, very important. So, and they have asked about Pichu and Plotha. So the reference for Pichu and Plotha, you can refer 5th chapter of Sushruta Samhita Sutrasthana. Okay. So further question papers we'll discuss after finishing paper 2. Okay. So coming to paper 2 part A, the most important 10 marks long essay question is 100%. It will be usually from Bhagna. So usually you can expect either Bhagna or you can expect types of fracture, basics of fracture, wherein they will ask types of fracture, clinical features, and common treatment protocol, line of treatment for managing a fracture patient. Or you can expect major question like fracture of clavicle, fracture of femur, and fracture of radius and ulna. That is fracture of long bone. Usually when they ask for long question, you have to mention in Bhagna, you have to mention the name of the fracture, how the mechanism of fracture, the clinical features of the fracture, and investigations you're going to perform, complications of that fracture, and treatment aspect. In treatment aspect, you have to mention regarding whether you're going to do open reduction or closed reduction. If you're doing open reduction, mention the type of surgery, that is whether you're doing IM nailing or plate fixation, etc. Okay, so Bhagna is very important. And coming to diseases of bone, here you can expect major question, nothing but osteomyelitis. So they will ask it as Majja Paripaka. Don't try to confuse yourself when they ask the Majja Paripaka. When they ask the question Majja Paripaka, it directly relates with osteomyelitis. Okay, this has been asked 2 or 3 times previous years, so that you have to concentrate. And they may ask tuberculosis of the spine, that is Pott's spine. Okay, this is again a expected question. And recently they have been asking regarding craniocerebral injuries. This is a new syllabus point for you. Okay, in craniocerebral injuries, they may ask about the subdural hematoma for 5 marks, or you may expect a question like epidural hematoma or fracture of the skull. You have to mention regarding the clinical features and what is the treatment line you are going to employ. And disease of spine, in this you can expect again ankylosing spondylitis or disc prolapse, that is IVDP. So usually they may ask it for 5 marks. Okay, next coming to diseases of breast, usually this is again a very important topic which is commonly given for long essay, usually C of breast. Okay, this is 100% expected question for long essay. So from this syllabus point, 100% you can expect 5 marks to 10 marks. They will ask either Stana Arbuda or Stana Vidridi. So Stana Vidridi is nothing but breast abscess. This is for ask it for 5 marks. And Stana Arbuda, it is nothing but breast cancer, usually C of breast. It is a major question. Okay, and in diseases of chest, usually it is for 3 marks. Usually they will ask what is pleural effusion, what is tension pneumothorax, or they may ask hemothorax and the line of treatment for it. Okay, so this usually is not for long essay. It is just for 3 marks or 5 marks. So next is the diseases of upper GI system. So coming to esophagus, again, this is a long essay question which you can expect. You can expect CA of esophagus. You can expect esophagitis or GERD, or you can expect the what is that congenital anomalies of the esophagus. This is a question for long essay question. This you have to stress. The esophagus and stomach, usually it will cover about 10 to 15 marks from both the syllabus point. So these first 2 organs, that is esophagus and stomach, you have to stress more. And I usually advise my students to read the topics of modern topics to be studied from modern surgical textbook like Manipal or SRB. Usually you can understand better when you're reading with these textbooks, because there will be illustration with pictures. So, and there is also some shortcuts and key points which are given. This will be very easy for you to understand that disease when you see the disease. Okay, usually in surgery, you have to see that particular disease to understand. Okay, so for paper 2, try to read more in to go in depth, you can refer Das. Okay, then coming to Gulma Roga and Shula Vedi, usually they will ask Annadrava Shula and Parinama Shula. That is nothing but your peptic ulcer and peptic ulcer. So usually this will be for 5 marks. And next we have Udara Roga. This is asked for 5 marks. Usually they will ask Chidrodara, which is commonly asked again and again. Chidrodara, if they ask, you have to mention about intestinal perforation. Okay, this don't forget. And if they ask for long question, you can mention the types of peritonitis and the stages in peritonitis. Okay, that you can mention. And Baddha Gudodara. So if they ask Baddha Gudodara, you have to explain regarding the intestinal obstruction. So in Baddha Gudodara, you can write volvulus, sigmoid volvulus or cecal volvulus. This you have to explain. Next is disease of stomach and duodenum. So again, here it is a long essay question. I have put a star mark here. So usually the peptic ulcer and pyloric stenosis is one of the commonly asked question, and the CA of stomach, it is again asked for 10 marks. Okay, so this you can make a star, put a star mark. And coming to diseases of the small intestine, so here again obstruction and perforation are important. Okay, the obstruction in small intestine and obstruction perforation of the small intestine, and usually they can ask diverticulitis, that is Meckel's diverticulum, for 3 marks. Okay, and in large intestine, commonly asked question, most important question which you can expect is appendicitis. Okay, this you have to study thoroughly. Appendicitis is 100% question for UGs. So in appendicitis, you have to know the positions of appendix, the clinical features, manifestation of the appendicitis, and what is appendicular abscess, what is appendicular mass, and what is the treatment. The surgery for appendix is very important. You have to study the surgery of appendectomy surgery stepwise. So preoperative, operative, and post-operative. These operative procedures you have to mention. If they ask for 10 marks in surgery, don't miss these procedures. And that is preoperative, operative, and post-operative aspect of the appendicectomy or appendectomy. And you can expect 5 marks question, that is Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. So large intestine diseases are very important. Usually it will be covered for 5 marks to 10 marks. Next, most important, usually our area of expertise in Shalya Tantra. So the questions from this topic can be more expected more. That is Arshas, Parikartika, Bagandhara. So first 3 points, Arshas, Parikartika, and Bagandhara. This can be major questions. I have put a star mark. So this can be asked for 10 marks. And Guda Vidruddhi, if they ask Guda Vidruddhi, you have to mention about the anal rectal abscess, types of anal rectal abscess like perianal abscess, ichiorectal abscess, submucosal abscess, etc. And coming to Guda Bramsha, this is a 5 marks question. You have to mention the types of rectal prolapse, grades, and the surgery names. That is Thier's procedure. Those things you have to mention. And last question, usually that is abdominal injuries. So in abdominal injuries, they can ask stab wounds or penetrating wounds, and their management you have to mention. So again, this topic you can study in Manipal Manual of Surgery. Okay. So coming to part B. So part B in paper 2 is completely related with modern science. So before starting paper B, part B in paper 2, I generally advise you people to go through the surgical anatomy of each disease. So when you're using your smartphones, it is better if you use for a productive purpose. So these are some various channels in YouTube which you can subscribe. So that is, one is anatomy learning. So you have separate dedicated pages for surgical anatomy. Okay, so human anatomy and physiology. Okay, this is one more page. Okay, and you have other YouTube channel, that is Surgical Educator. So when you don't understand the operations, if you have not seen surgeries of laparotomy, appendicectomy, or surgeries of hernia, so usually if you have not witnessed the surgeries, it is usually very difficult to reciprocate it in theoretical form. So whenever you're reading those topics wherein the surgeries are stressed, like cholecystectomy, appendectomy, and herniotopmy, hernioplasty, and herniorrhaphy. So please see the videos before studying that, or once you study the theoretical topic, then you watch the video and try to recall. 100% it will be very easy for you to attempt in your answers. Okay, so it will be very easy for you to interpret your the memory which you have stocked by seeing the surgery. At least if you are not able to see it really, you can at least you have virtual videos which are available in Surgical Educator. This you can definitely subscribe. There are many surgeries which has been told very properly, like preoperative, operative procedures, and post-operative procedures. So you can go through this. And you have one more video platform wherein PrepLadder is there. So for any management of fracture and dislocations, so if you want to go through them, you can see this channel, that is PrepLadder. Usually the MBBS people, before going to NEET exams, usually this is the common coaching which they are going to subscribe, that is PrepLadder. And you have Indian Medico. Again, surgery separate playlist is there. You can watch certain surgeries and surgical anatomy and surgical diseases are given. When if you don't understand the anatomy, or if you don't understand the pathology or the symptomatology of any disease, you can go through this YouTube channel. Okay, so usually whatever question, if life gives you questions, Google gives you answers, right? Whatever question, whatever doubt you have, just you Google, you get the answer. The world is at your fingertips. Okay, so use it for a productive purpose. That's what I wanted to tell. So coming back, those were the YouTube channels. Definitely you can use for updating your surgical video memory. Okay, so coming to part B, you have diseases of liver, wherein most commonly asked question is liver abscess, amoebic liver abscess, and you can expect question that is portal hypertension. You can also expect Yकृत Dalyodhara, that is hepatomegaly. And again, this is for 10 marks question. And cholecystitis and cholelithiasis from gallbladder. Again, this is one of the commonly asked question. You can make note of whatever things I'm telling, or whatever I have highlighted and put a star mark. These questions definitely you can expect. Okay, so cholecystitis and cholelithiasis is again very important. And coming to diseases of pancreas, usually pancreatitis can be asked for 5 marks. Usually it is not asked for 10 marks before. So try to prepare this topic for 5 marks. That should be sufficient. Okay, coming to last topic, that is the spleen. So Plihodhara, again this is for 5 marks which is asked. And splenectomy. The splenectomy surgical procedure has to be studied. So this you can again watch the video. In Rajneesh Giri textbook, you have the steps of splenectomy that you can refer. And 20 to 25 marks in the paper 2 part B is coming from Mutravaha Shroto Vikaras. So in Mutravaha Shroto Vikaras, all the diseases related to kidney, ureter, urinary bladder, prostate, urethra, and the reproductive organ. And very importantly, you have various investigations designated for urinary system. Like you have retrograde pyelography, you have IVP, intravenous pyelogram, etc. So this has been asked in previous year question papers that you have to go through. And BPH is a question that you can expect 5 marks or 10 marks. Okay, and coming to urethritis for 5 marks. And diseases of penis, usually these 3 what I have highlighted here, in either of 3 one question you can expect: Niruddha Prakasha, Parivartika, and Avapatika. Okay, so you can get a question directly as Niruddha Prakasha, or you can get a question like phimosis. Okay, Parivartika and Avapatika. So for all the 3, try to make sure please by heart the shlokas. And the last very important thing is the diseases of scrotum and testis. You can expect the torsion of testis, which is commonly asked, ectopic testis, and undescended testis. And in Vriddhi Roga, hydrocele is a very important question. Hydrocele or varicocele, either of the 2, one question will be asked commonly. And finally, the long essay question in part B is usually 70 to 90%. It is from Anthroid, that is hernia. So you have to understand hernia in detail. Okay, and common question for long essay will be inguinal hernia, the management of hernia, that is inguinal hernia. And if there are any examinations, usually they will not ask in theory paper, but you have to know how you are going to examine the case of hernia. So this completes the paper 2. Okay, so we will go to question paper. Before, just how you have to write the answer in Shalya Tantra. So whatever question you get, for example, if you get a question of abscess, so give an introduction, define abscess, what are all the etiology and types. If you have in that disease, you have to mention the etiology and types, mention the clinical features. In surgery, you have various signs, various typical hallmark feature of particular diseases. Like for appendicitis, you have Murphy's sign, so not Murphy's sign, so McBurney's point. For cholecystitis, you have Murphy's sign. For DVT, you have Moses and Homan sign. Okay, so like this, for every disease, there will be certain signs which are explained. So these hallmark features of that particular surgical disease, you have to highlight, make a note, make a short notes. Okay, for cholecystitis, for appendicitis, for pancreatitis, for DVT, for aneurysm. So there are many particular triads and symptoms told. Okay, these you have to highlight. Then you have to mention regarding investigation. Most people usually miss this part. Investigations na bariyade illa. Okay, so what is the investigation relevant to that particular system? You have to mention. And last, most expected thing from examiner is in Shalya Tantra, you have to write the treatment. In all the final year subjects, give more stress upon the treatment, because once you complete your final year, you are going to become full-fledged doctor. So we expect the treatment what you are going to put for that particular disease. So in Shalya, you have to mention regarding the surgical management. So whenever you get a surgical case for a long essay question, elaborate your answer under pre-operative, operative, and post-operative headings. Okay, this will cover all the aspects. 100% you are going to get maximum marks when you categorize your answer in this structure. Okay, and time allocation, when you are writing the answer after you finish your preparation, please allocate at least properly. You have to have the proper time management. For long essays, I usually I prefer you can spare 20 minutes for 2 questions, so that comes to 40 minutes. For short questions, altogether from 10 questions, you can keep about 1 hour 15 minutes or 1 hour 20 minutes. And for short questions, that is 14 short questions, 3 marks, you can allocate 1 hour. So when you allocate timings and write accordingly, you can cover all the questions, and don't try to leave any single question. Whatever you know, try to write. That is most important thing. Okay. So finally, one thing I would like to advise you people is avoid digital addiction. So during this time, whenever you feel bored, don't use your smartphone. Don't kill your time. Okay, very importantly, so Facebook, especially Facebook, you are going to Facebook or Instagram. So whenever you are feeling bored, you are going to open it. Okay, so don't have the habit of wasting your time on unwanted things. So rather, in Facebook and Instagram, you have various good pages like Medical Learning. Okay, and you have various apps like Medscape. You have WebMD. Okay, these apps you can download. Okay, than scrolling through few people's profile pictures or whatever. Don't waste time on that, because your time is now. Okay, this is your last time which you can get. Prepare yourself to equip yourself for the war. Okay, this is your final year. You have to score your best. Okay, so try to use the smartphone for productive purpose. You can download these apps, especially Medscape. It's very authentic. You can download. And whenever you keep alarm, so while studying, usually you keep alarm to get up at 5 o'clock, but there is always one bad button, that is snooze. Okay, 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎದ್ದೇಳೋಣ, 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎದ್ದೇಳೋಣ ಅಂತ, it will be 10 o'clock by the time you get up. So now, please don't do that. Please respect the time, because every minute passed, you cannot get it back. Okay, so the time is now. Stop hitting the snooze button on your life. And mainly the key to success in surgery, the syllabus is very vast. Okay, I tried to cover almost all the points. Okay, so the key to success in, especially in Shalya Tantra, it is to keep revising again and again. You have to revise again and again. So revision is nothing but see again. Okay, so every day at least 1 to 2 hours keep time for revising the subject you studied the previous day. Okay, and try to have 2 rounds of reading for Shalya Tantra, or else it will be very confusing. Okay, so revision tips: start early, create quality notes for yourself, always maintain your own notes, pick a challenge that you are going to cover certain syllabus point that day, and have keep all the distractions away from you. While studying, please maintain a proper posture, or else you will end up in backache, other things. And don't read continuously. Take short breaks for 5 to 10 minutes in between, and don't postpone any syllabus point. Please don't do that, because that syllabus point will be left like that only. So example, adhe question 100%. So don't leave or skip any syllabus point. Okay, so finally, I wish good luck on your exams and give your best shot on it. Okay, so definitely you can achieve the best and get the best results. Okay, so thank you. So paper 2, question paper, for 5 minutes I will share. Then you can drop any doubts you have. Okay. So this is 2017 question paper. So again, see, the major question is from breast cancer. Okay, etiopathogenesis, classification, clinical features, and management. Okay, so this is a 15 marks question. For you, it will be for 10 marks. And Nadi Urana is not here, included here in previous syllabus. Okay, let me take 2018 question paper. Okay, this is according to syllabus. So the long essay here is Kanda Bhagna. So I have to mention the Bhagna, write about the types, Lakshana and Upadrava and Chikitsa. Okay. Next question is Bhagandra Prakara and Chikitsa. So you have to mention the 5 types of Bhagandra by Sushruta, that is Gotirtaka, Langalaka, Sarvatobhadraka, those incisions you have to mention and mention regarding Sharasutra. Then you have Stanavidradi, so this is 5 marks question. Gastric ulcer and duodenal ulcer, expected question. Pyloric stenosis, okay, again coming from stomach. And next we have reflux esophagitis. So see, the 4th question, 5th question and 6th question, it is about 15 marks. It is from 2 syllabus points, that is esophagus and stomach. So those 2 chapters, try to make sure you are thorough with those diseases. Next we have carpal tunnel syndrome, Kocher's maneuver, it is coming under surgery for liver. Okay, then you have Lord's dilatation. What is rat tail deformity? The rat tail deformity is nothing but the deformity which is seen in C of esophagus and achalasia cardia. Ramstead operation, see again, this is 10th question and 11th question. It is from stomach and esophagus. The Ramstead operation, it is given done for pyloric stenosis. Then you have Baddha Gudodhara, okay, that is anal stenosis. Then you have intestinal obstruction. Then you have Goodsall's rules, that is from Bagandhara. So anal and rectal, the first 2 openings, that is esophagus and stomach, and last part, that is rectum and anal canal. So this will fetch you about 30 to 40 marks. Okay, be thorough with them. Next, in part B, cholecystitis, major question as I told, you can expect. So 5 marks, pancreatitis, clinical features, and Mutravashota Vikarasi. 16th and 17th question is from Mutravashotas, kidney, and management of hydrocele, that is Mutravardhi. Then you have hernia, 1 question definitely it will be there, that is indirect inguinal hernia. Okay, then you have question from Plihodara. So in short question, you have cystitis, that is from bladder, Mutravashotas. Again, paraphimosis is from Mutravashotas, paraphimosis. Okay, then you have Murphy's sign from gallbladder, that is cholecystitis. We have ERCP. What is ERCP? Is nothing but endoscopic retrograde cholangiopancreatography. Then you have TURP, transurethral resection of prostate. Again, it is Mutravashota Vikara, and strangulated hernia, question from hernia. Okay, this is 2018 question paper. So 2020 question paper we'll see. Okay, so RS4. This is actually different pattern, but we will just go through the questions. See, in 2020, you have types of Udara and Baddha Gudodhara with suitable modern aspects. So when they ask Udara, you have to mention regarding the types of Udara. You have to mention about ascites, the clinical features of ascites, management of ascites, the surgical line of management, that is tapping. That procedure you have to explain, and discuss Baddha Gudodhara, that is intestinal volvulus and intussusception, that you have to elaborate. Those modern topics you have to mention. Next, we have major question from Mutravashvatas, again, that is BPH, benign prostate hypertrophy. This is very important question. BPH, skip mabadi, chana udkoli. Next, Arshas. Okay, that is anal and rectum and anal canal. We have reflux esophagus, shoulder joint dislocation from Bagna topic. You have ulcerative colitis. Okay, that is from large intestine. Colles fracture, again from Bagna. Then you have liver abscess, as I told. From liver, usually you can expect pyogenic liver abscess or amoebic liver abscess. And cholelithiasis for 5 marks. Niruddha Prakasha, you see, it is so oftenly repeated. Okay, phimosis and paraphimosis, don't skip. Then you have hernia, very important question, and ureteric calculus. The questions are so predictive. If you are thorough with the syllabus, 100% you can attempt. Okay, H. pylori infection, again from upper GI, H. pylori infection of stomach. Then you have positions of appendix. Appendicitis is very important. Curling ulcer, this is coming from complication of burns. Goodsall's rules, see, second time it is repeated. It is from Bagandhara, fistula. Right tail deformity, again, it is seen in, excuse me, upper GI, that is stomach. It is a radiological finding. And ectopic testis, Ankovic sauce, it is seen in amoebic liver abscess. Murphy's sign, again, repeated question. Mutra Gata Prakara, so BPH types you can mention. And you have IVP, intravenous pyelogram. This is from Mutravashvatas. Okay, this is a radiological investigation. So we have many question papers. I will share it with you. Since the time is very short, I cannot cover all the question papers. So whatever doubt you have, you can ask.
Kindly leave all your questions in the chat box. Or you can unmute yourself and ask.
So question from Naveshri. So if the question is general tumor, what should we write? Should we write individually? So a very good question. When you get this question, the general tumor, if you get the question tumor, you have to mention the definition of tumor, write the classification of tumor, that is benign and malignant tumors. Okay, and when benign and malignant, and you can elaborate more on the malignant tumor. So usually when they ask the question tumor, it will be the answer what the examiner will be expecting is malignancy. So under malignancy, you can write about the TNM classification in general, and the line of treatment, that is conservative line of treatment. You have chemotherapy, you have radiotherapy, etc. And surgical line of treatment, you have excision. That can be radical excision, total excision, partial excision. Okay, that surgery names you have to mention. Any other question? You can unmute yourself and answer.
5 minutes to ask your questions.
Okay, please give some tips to remember different TNM classification. Okay, so usually there are actually in every type of CA, all the organs have CA of cancer. So for example, you have CA of gallbladder, you have CA of pancreas, you have CA of stomach, you have CA of esophagus, you have CA of kidney, you have CA of prostate. So for every disease, it is different. So there is one app in Play Store, that is mnemonics for surgical mnemonics. So if you download that, in that they have given mnemonics for each CA, TNM classification. So in general, for metastasis, it will be usually 0, 1, 2 grading. For nodes, that is from N0 to N, usually it will be grading will be from N0 or NIS till N5 or N6. Okay, so this is basic classification, and the tumor, it will be based on the size. Okay, so when you read the general classification of TNM, if you understand the basic categorization of the TNM, definitely you can understand easily. So, but for every TNM classification for each disease, you can make your own tips. So that will be difficult. But commonly asked question is C of breast, C of esophagus, C of stomach, and C of kidney. That is Wilms tumor, or that is the malignant conditions in Mutravashotas, that is kidney. Wilms tumor, it is usually commonly asked, or nephroblastoma. Again, that is coming under Mutravashotas. Okay. Next question, sir, can you explain inguinal hernia topic? Okay, so inguinal hernia topic explain one, it will take long time. So in general, I will tell. So a broad classification of hernia, that is anatomy. So you have to mainly openings, that is superficial inguinal ring and deep inguinal ring, and you have to understand the anatomy, that is boundaries of the inguinal canal. When you understand the boundaries, you have 4 boundaries for inguinal canal: anterior, posterior, superior, and lateral boundaries for inguinal canal. And when you understand the boundaries, what are all the ligaments, what are all the attachments coming for these boundaries, then for explaining the surgery, it will be very easy. Okay, first is you have to understand the anatomy of inguinal canal, and then you have to understand the contents of inguinal canal. So usually the contents of inguinal canal is what are all the structures passing, like you have arteries, veins, and nerves, which are embedded inside the spermatic cord. Spermatic cord is the main content of the inguinal canal. Okay, so what are the contents of the spermatic cord and what are the contents of the inguinal canal, that you have to understand. After that, you have to understand the basic topic of hernia. What is hernia? It is nothing but protrusion of a hollow organ through a weak opening. Hollow organ or viscous through a weak opening. So here usually the deep ring is not patent because of the muscles which have become which has lost its patency. Okay, to cover and prevent the contents of the inguinal canal from protruding outside. Okay, so this is the etiological factor. So you have to understand what is hernia. So then you have categorization under hernia. That is, you have direct inguinal hernia, you have indirect inguinal hernia. So there are various tests that you can perform. That is Siemens technique. You have cuff impulse technique, getting over this swelling. Those tests you have to perform, and finally you have to conclude the diagnosis with whether it is direct or inguinal or indirect inguinal hernia. So next we have to mention regarding the treatment aspects. So in treatment, we have 3 types of treatment. So the treatment is, one is herniatomy, that is excision. Then you have hernioplasty. Herniorrhaphy second is herniorrhaphy, wherein you are going to repair the hernial orifice using suturing. That is herniorrhaphy, wherein the surgery, Bazinis herniorrhaphy is very important. After Bazinis herniorrhaphy, you have to mention regarding the latest technique in surgical surgical field, that is hernioplasty, wherein you are going to use Prolene or any synthetic mesh for covering the defect, and you are going to suture the hernial, whatever incision you have taken on the inguinal canal, that you are going to cover by using a mesh. Okay, this is in general. So inguinal hernia, it's a very long topic, very elaborate topic. You can ask any doubt. I'll share my details. Okay, through mail I can share the PPTs and all which I have prepared. You can go through that. You can easily understand. Pavitra, sir, should we learn detailed surgical procedure for all diseases? No. So in UG, as I told, you can make a list. Usually the surgeries commonly asked is, one is thyroidectomy. You can make a note. One is thyroidectomy. One is cholecystectomy. Okay, and when you come to stomach, you have various anastomosis operations for management of C of stomach. So if you read a C of stomach, there is various anastomosis surgeries which is told. And in that, Ramstad's operation is very important for management of pyloric stenosis. And coming below, you have surgery for appendix, that is appendectomy, you have to be thorough, and hernia. So hernioplasty, herniorrhaphy, and herniatomy, all these three surgeries for inguinal hernia you have to buy it. And hydrocele surgery, very important. You have to learn IND procedure for management of abscess, what type of incision you are going to put, that you have to mention and learn, and circumcision. So these are the basic surgeries which you have to be thorough. Madhusudan Reddy, sir, in 10 marks question, only 5 pages will be given, but topic content will be more, and in explaining surgery part, more pages is taken. How to congest answer covering all points? Yeah, very good question. So here, so for 10 marks question, we don't expect you to write all details regarding the clinical features. Okay, so first 2 pages you restrict yourself for answering the questions like etiology, clinical features. You try to mention in brief. Point wise you have to mention. Don't try to write the theoretical part elaborately. So points, major points you have to mention. As I told, for in appendicectomy you have various tests like what is Sharon's triangle, you have to mention what is Boa sign, what is Murphy's, not Murphy's, what is McBurney's point. These things you have to mention in clinical features. Okay, after that you have investigations in 2 or 3 lines you can finish. What are all the investigations relevant to that disease? So coming to surgery, you can elaborate your answer. So in preoperative procedure, always mention the consent from the patient, part preparation, xylocaine test dose. You have to mention regarding injection of tetanus toxoid for prophylaxis of tetanus, and you have to mention when you are going to shift the patient. In operative procedure, we expect you to write the surgery procedure in detail. Again, this will not take much of your page. Like you have to mention what type of anesthesia you are going to use, mention what type of incision you are going to take, what are all the layers you are going to separate, which organ or which pathology you identified after opening the abdomen or any organ, okay, and what you did for that pathology, whether you are going to excise it, whether you are going to resect it, that you are going to mention. After that, layer by layer, what you are going to do, that is suturing layer by layer, and then what is the post-operative regimen. So that is maintenance of IV fluid, how you are going to maintain the position of the patient, the monitoring of the vitals of the patient, and what is the choice of antibiotics. Definitely you can mention. Okay, so this is how you can concise. So don't try to elaborate. You have to mention in point wise. Okay. Janani Dirav, sir, can out of syllabus questions be expected? Congenital anomalies of gallbladder is not there in syllabus. Can it be asked? Okay. Congenital anomalies of gallbladder. Usually, as I told in UG, you can expect the questions. You can once you cover the syllabus, you can only expect what is the questions you are going to get. Okay. In gallbladder, usually the most commonly expected questions is cholecystitis or cholelithiasis. That will be given for 10 marks, and you can expect cholelithiasis. In I think 3 years back they had asked that question. Congenital anomalies of gallbladder, usually they will not ask if it is not given in syllabus. Okay. Next, for paper part B, paper 2, drugs should be mentioned while writing antibiotics, anti-inflammatory drugs, or else can we directly write antibiotics and anti-inflammatory? So usually, if you don't know any antibiotics, you can write it like this. So after the operation, the patient is put on certain antibiotic, anti-inflammatory medications, and proper wound care is given. If you don't know anything, if you write this much, that is sufficient. But if you know specifically which antibiotics is given in which surgeries, usually we prefer cephalosporins in post-operative care. So you can write like cefixime, ceforaxime, or ceftriaxone. You can write for skin and soft tissue infections like cellulitis and all, the drug of choice is linezolid. The dosage of that drug, like linezolid, if you are going to mention, you have to mention what is the dosage, like 600 mg, and whether you are going to give once a day or twice a day, that you have to mention. And anti-inflammatory, if you don't know, so that's all right. If you don't know anything, antibiotics or anti-inflammatory, then definitely you can write our Ayurvedic drugs, like you can use Triphala Guggulu, you can write Gandhaka Rasayana. Okay, these drugs you can write. Any other questions? The syllabus is vast in Shalya. Please don't be scared. Definitely one. Officially try to read every syllabus point, and in paper too, as I told, please try to read it in modern surgical textbooks. So it will give a better understanding with better what interpretation of the diseases, which you can correlate it with Ayurveda. So once you understand the modern terminologies, modern diseases easily, you can correlate that disease easily with Ayurveda. That is very important. So once you go through that, definitely it will be easy for you to understand. And as I told, please watch videos. If you don't understand inguinal hernia, if you don't understand surgery of management of intestinal obstruction, so when you get a case of peritonitis, laparotomy procedures are told. So if you watch these procedures in YouTube, definitely you will have better idea. Definitely you can write in examination. So points to be remembered in acute abdomen. Should we elaborate each organomegaly? So a very good question. In acute abdomen, usually the most important cause will be peritonitis or any perforation or intestinal obstruction, etc. So the main clinical features usually in any GI related symptoms, you have to mention regarding the pain, what type of pain the patient is presenting to you. Usually if you get a case of, just let us take example of renal calculi. Usually renal calculi gives type, the pain is colicky pain. So any hollow tubular structures, it is going to give colicky pain. This you have to mention. And usually all the in every case of acute abdomen, 3 symptoms will definitely be present: pain, nausea, vomiting associated with fever, and vital changes. So there will be changes in BP. Usually the BP will come down, that is hypotension will occur, and whenever there is the BP is falling, the compensatory mechanism of the body kicks in, so you'll have the heart rate which is increased. Okay, the saturation can be fluctuating, and you have to mention regarding, one is vomitus in acute abdomen, and one is status of passage of urine and stools, the output. Okay, usually there will be decreased urine output because the patient will be ending up in sepsis if there is infectious pathology. And the stools, the color of the stools and the pattern of stools. Usually if there is any perforation of intestine, usually there will be blood mixed stools or mucus mixed with the stools. Okay, so this you have to mention. And after this, you have to mention regarding the management. Okay, managementally you have to mainly resuscitate the patient. ABCD you can remember. You have to resuscitate the patient by securing his airway. You have to secure the airway by using airway tubes, or you can go for use of artificial ventilation by intubating the patient. Then is monitoring of the blood pressure in B, and blood circulation. In B, you have to check for the blood bleeding. So if there is any bleeding, you have to immediately resuscitate the patient using IV fluids or blood transfusion. You have to go in case of peptic ulcer perforation or intestinal perforation. You have to go for blood transfusion. If you don't have blood transfusion, you can use volume expanders, like you can use gelatin, or simple ringer lactate can be used, and use of charts for maintaining output and input, that is coming for C. And D, it is for drugs. Usually what drugs you are going to use: anti-inflammatory, antispasmodics, emergency drugs that you are going to use, that you can adopt. Okay, so this is protocol for management of acute abdomen. These points you have to cover. And investigations, don't forget, usually we do USG abdomen or CT abdomen. This has to be done. Okay, Uzma. Sir, which and all C are important? So as I told, it is C of esophagus, C of stomach, commonly asked, C of liver can be asked, and C of kidney, usually in that nephroblastoma and Wilms tumor, and C of prostate, very important. Okay, these commonly asked. These are the common points I have to. Okay, so if there are no doubts, you can end.
Okay, I think we'll end the session here, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for wonderfully orienting the students, Dr. Aditya. We are glad that you are here with Team Tattva Bodhini. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
So I thank Dr. Akshata Madam for communicating with me and giving a chance. And I also want to thank Dr. Chaitra for recommending my name. And I want to wish all the students who are present in Tattva Bodhini to score best, get the best results and give good name for your college as well as the team Tattva Bodhini. And I wish Tattva Bodhini reaches greater heights, reach pan-India. And I definitely want to tell that I like to be associated with whatever projects your upcoming projects are there. I like to be associated with the team.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. We would like to have you with our team very soon. And thank you for today's session.